Hello, it's me again. So it's December 20th, Saturday morning, approximately 6:30 to 7 o'clock. Anyway, today's a day where I gotta tell you my sister passed away. Is my younger sister. She died on December 7th, approximately in between 9 and 11 o'clock in the morning. Influenza A1. And anyway, she was born in 1970, August 16th, and she died in 2025, December 7th. Angela Baldinelli. I'm allowed to say her name. She also is the only one that I will say her name. It's my sister. I love her very much, and that's why I didn't do a video last week. So I guess we'll go on to the next story here. All right, this story is about a gentleman. I met him around 2023, in the beginning of 2023. I was introduced to him by an adult entertainment person, female, and he seemed like a great gentleman. He lost his license, so he needed transportation sometimes, and he wanted a reading, and he wanted me to read some of his friends and stuff like that. This gentleman knew more. He knew as many adult entertainment females as I do, and I work with them. So I find out that he did swimming pools. He would make swimming pools, and that was a good summer job. And then he would be laid off in the winter. So he needed me mostly for the summertime because he would need a ride home from work sometimes. And then he had a little garage where he had a truck there, a yellow one. And he would be working on it, and it's a vintage truck that he really liked, and he spent a lot of time there. I would call it one of his hobbies. The gentleman had a lot of talents. He sings, does jokes, a comedian kind of thing. He also does carpentry. He does almost everything, construction, jack of all trades sort of person. So anyway, got to know him pretty good. Did readings for a lot of his friends and stuff like that. There was little small donations here and there, which is okay. And I started to figure out some things that I had to do because sometimes I'll get signs later on when I meet someone and stuff like that. And sure enough, this was happening. Okay, so the first sign was, see, when I answer my phone, I say Birdy's phone because that's my nickname and that's how I answer it. And he caught on to that and he thought that was funny, which I don't. I love humor, and I think, please, if I'm funny at something, please laugh your head off. God bless you. But anyway, so he started answering the phone with funny things like it's the beef or something like that. Come and get as much beef as you need, or it's so and so. Knock knock, who's there? This is the way he would answer his phone. There was one in particular time that he answered his phone, which I thought was pretty wild. I called him up, and he goes, "This is God." I said, "What?" I said, "God. Oh my God, how are you doing, God?" So he didn't answer how he was doing. He answered like this. He goes, "No one has ever asked me how I am doing." And I thought that was pretty cool. So at that particular time, after that, every night, I pray every night. And I just said to myself, I'm going to ask God how he does every night. Well, he's an entity, maybe he experiences stress, anxiety like we do, and all the bad things that happen to us perhaps happen to him in a different way, as a God would know, or the only creature, or whatever it is, the Almighty would have maybe problems too sometimes. So every night I'd say, "God, I hope you're doing okay." But anyway, let's go on to the story about where I find out that he's supposed to save a life. That's the important thing. All right, so there's one individual he made me make a reading on. And I read this young lady's hand, and I saw things and stuff like that. And I saw something in a relationship with her, with someone that's supposed to save her. But at the time, she wasn't in a relationship with the person that had me do the reading on her, this gentleman that I've been talking about. And I said, this is odd. And so later on, I became her friend as well. And I started to see it. And I said, oh my God, I got to do this. So the idea is the young lady is going to get sick and she's going to need an operation. And I need the gentleman, which now at this time has started to date her, and I knew it was her, to start to do these things in order to save her life. So the first thing is he's got to get her some type of a plant, something that she likes, so he can focus energy on this plant, so it'll go to her. But then we need another object, something solid, like a silver, a coin or something like that. And I picked one of my coins, and I gave that coin to the young lady. I got to make a triangle. Now I'm trying to explain this to this gentleman. And he's got, like, this is in the beginning of 2025, I think. Yeah, I started this. So it'll be about maybe March, the beginning of spring. Now, there's so many full moons before this operation. The operation is in December. And I know that it's going to be difficult, and he's got to save her life. So every month I'd say, did you get her something? And he goes, well, I bought her this. And I'm like, no, that's not it. I bought her this. No, that's not it. Well, I bought her this. No, that's not it. And he goes, oh, I saved her life already once. Maybe that's it. I says, no, that's not it. And I'm trying to explain to him how this procedure is going to work. And he's like, okay, all right. Finally, he goes, can I tell her? I says, no, you cannot tell her. This magical thing you got to do yourself. See, we're making a triangle. And he goes, well, we only have two sides. There's three sides to the triangle. And I said, okay, listen, the plant is one side. The coin I've given her already is another side. The third side is you. Love. You love her. He goes, yes, I do love her. And I go, okay, so we're going to make a triangle. And what happens in this triangle is it goes from point to point to point. It goes really, really fast. But I need the triangle to develop. And then I'll give it a little push, and it'll start by itself. And then it will happen. The magic will happen, and this young lady will have her life saved. So another time he thinks he saved her life again. So now we're getting close. We're getting into the end of summer, and I know this is coming, and I've got maybe 4 full moons, and it should be done the 3rd full moon before it happens. And so he still hasn't given her I said, you can draw a plant. Give her a picture of a plant. Anything that she likes as a plant and she will enjoy and put energy into it, and you put energy into it, it can happen. And then she figured out that I was talking to him about something about her. And then she confronted me. And I said, oh, I've been trying to do this thing with your gentleman friend, which is the person that's going to save you, and he doesn't get it. And then all of a sudden, finally, he buys her a cactus. And she loves cactus. Also, another tribute of something she likes to eat would help a little bit as an encouragement as well. And an extra thing that we might need, because now she knows about it. And she's not supposed to know about it. So he buys her some type of chocolates that she really likes. Now we got the time zone. It's done in the middle of, or close to the middle of fall. And so I've got the 2 months or 3 months I need in before Christmas. And sure enough, it's working. Give it a little push, and it started to spin like crazy. And I saw the magic happening. There was a little downfall that I saw, because these two people seem to argue a lot and maybe not break up, but leave each other for a few days. And this one incident just before her operation, she goes, this is it. I can't take it anymore. And he said the exact same words as if they choreographed it together, and both told me. And I said, God, maybe I didn't do this right. And God never answers me lately. He's busy, I understand. But the angels are like, no, you nailed this. Watch. A week later, they're back together, full strength. Everything is happening again. And sure enough, the operation happened. She made it. This gentleman brought her, because he was divorced. And he had 2 children, one in his 30s, a male and a female. But they're not together no more, so he's living with his parents. But he brought this young lady to his parents to take care of her after the operation, because there was nobody else that would have taken care of her. And this is what it was when he needed to save her life. Believe it or not, it happened. And give him all the credit. I don't need no credit. It's just it had to happen, and that's magic. And this is Birdy's story. And due to my sister Angela, I love her very much, and I'm going to miss her like crazy. I'm just happy I didn't break down during this video. Thank you. Bye. Doesn't want to shut off.